defensively, offensively last year, the second half, we didn't move the ball at all. We did tonight and gave ourselves a chance to win. Defensively, we just gave up too many plays and didn't force sacks and we didn't force turnovers. But told them I was proud of their effort. If they'll keep their effort like it is, we'll keep working and we'll continue to get better. Doesn't get any better next week when Wake Forest is scoring a bunch of points, and we've got them coming to Keenan.
All right, we will begin with Andrew Jones. Go ahead, Andrew.
Can't hear you, Andrew. Mute.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry about that. Coach, what is the level of frustration with the defense? They had, I think, 5 scoring drives of 73 yards or more tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure it's that way with both defenses. Neither defense stopped the other one, and we had our chances, and there were a few stops, but not enough. So we've got to get better on defense. Notre Dame did a good job. Their running game is really good. That back is a tremendous player. He has been every week. We've watched him. He was the focal point to try to stop him, and he ran up down the field on us. So those guys did a great job.
You haven't had a chance to look at the film, obviously, but off the top of your head, anything stand out you think was the biggest issue defensively tonight?
I really can't say, Andrew. They scored too easily. I know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go over to CL Brown.
Mac, you kind of talked about this maybe being a barometer game of sorts. What do you feel like you learned about the teams?
Feel like that we've got good enough players to be able to play with a high level team, and we've got to continue to get better. And that's it. We gave up too many drives on defense. Offensively, we look like the offense we were last year. We ran up down the field, and really proud of them, and hopefully they can finish that way. And now we got to keep getting better on defense. And this is the first time our kicking game hurt us once. It helped us once with a kickoff return right before the half, but it also hurt us with the punt coverage when, again, 23 took it down to the 41-yard line.
Adam Smith, go ahead.
Hey, Mac. You described Kyron Williams' run as a backbreaker. That was exactly, I think, what I typed in here. I guess he came right down the sideline past you guys. What were you thinking as you saw him, do that, the stiff arm, and just run away from everybody? What was going through your head?
It's frustrating, Adam, because you got them backed up, and you got to get points out of that on your end. And that's really a 14-point swing. You hold them there, you get the short punch. Way we're moving the ball, we're right in the middle of this thing. And put tremendous amount of pressure on them at home. And we lost leverage. He was tackled in the backfield and just bounced out completely. And that's one of the best runs I've ever seen. And Gemmell tried. He couldn't get there, but he chased him all the way to the goal line.
This is, I thought you guys had some really nice moments tonight in a place where they rarely lose. And, sitting there at 4-4 now, I mean, do you feel like, that there were signs there tonight where this team does, looks better than a 4-4 team, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting better. We didn't start the season well. We obviously, in the 3 games that we lost, we didn't play well. In the 4 that we won, we have played really well at times and well. We haven't usually played as a team, and we've got to pull it together because it doesn't get any easier next weekend with Wake Forest coming in.
Okay, let's go to Ross Martin.
Hey, Coach Brown. Sam Howell passed TJ Yates for the all-time passing record. Not just for his effort tonight, but his career. What you can say about him with that, getting him further in the UNC record books.
Ross, I think he's been unbelievable. We wouldn't have won as many games as we have without Sam Howell. And he has helped our recruiting. He's upgraded everything that we've done because he competes so hard and he wants to win. And he's the guy. Jeremiah's the guy on defense and Sam's the guy on offense. And we didn't help him a lot early, but our centers are healthy now. Guys are healthier, and we use the outside receivers more. I wish we had connected on the screen with Josh where we had to kick a field goal. That was going to be a walk-in. So we're just we're not good enough not to make all the plays yet. And there were 7-8 plays, even with the amount of yards and points that we gave up on defense. If we just stop them on that 91-yard run, if we just do a few other things, we could win. And really and truly, the game was closer this year than it was last year. We played much better on defense against them last year than we did this year, but we played a full game offensively, and we can take a lot out of this moving forward to help us.
All right, Coach, we've got time for one last one. Michael Coe, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. So Jaquarius was really aggressive on the kickoff returns tonight, at least early on. Was there something that you saw in film study this week where you thought you could exploit Notre Dame's kickoff coverage?
Well, Michael, they've given up some yards, but we also didn't feel like we blocked them very well because we only had the one where it was a great field position, but the other ones were tough. But normally guys kick it out and you don't have opportunities. And with their kicker, we felt like we had opportunities. And especially before the half, we were going to take it out, even if it was 2 or 3 yards deep, because we used our timeouts and we were going to have to sit on the ball unless we could get the ball out where we did around the 40. And that gave us an opportunity to open it up and get a field goal going in. So even though Notre Dame scored with less than 5 minutes to go in the half, we came back and scored, and then came back and scored to start the second half. So I felt like at that point we were in good shape.
Thanks.
All right, Coach. Thanks for a few minutes tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we got Jeremiah Gemmel here. Thank you for joining us. If you have a question, please hit the raise hand button. And Michael Coe, you are up first.
Hey, Jeremiah. What is it about Kyren Williams that makes him such a good running back, in your opinion?
I think it's his vision. Out of all the backs I think I've played in college, I think he's probably had the best vision I've faced out of really all my 3 years of playing in college. I think his vision is at an elite level. I mean, he knows even when the gap he's going to isn't open, it's not hard for him to hit 2 jump cuts and find an open gap. I thought we did a really good job of in the first half of containing him, and then the second half we'd stay in our gaps, and that was the thing with him. If you popped out of a gap, he would find that open gap and get into it. And I think in the second half, I think we were just starting to get a little bit too nosy, and guys were hopping out of his gaps, and he was finding holes to run the ball.
Thank you.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremiah, can you take me through what all you saw? I believe you got the first contact on Williams on that 91-yard touchdown run. And I was just wondering, and then you ended up being the last one who could have maybe caught him. Can you take me through that play, what you saw, how you saw it develop?
Yeah, I had a blitz stunt on that was really supposed to go through the B gap, and the guard blocked down on our 5 technique. Like, he just completely got rid of the B gap. So instead of running the B gap, I decided to run the A gap, and I made contact with the back, but I think the center I think he stayed on me pretty good, and he was able to wash me by the play. And like I said, with him, I think his vision's one that is the best I've seen that I've gone up against. And for him to cut back off of where I was, and then I didn't really saw what happened on the back end. I just knew I had to roll out and try to catch him. I just remember knowing we had a stunt on that was supposed to go through the B gap, and the guard just blocked down hard on the 5 technique. So I ran the A gap.
And Coach Brown just mentioned about 7 plays in this game within the scope of back and forth that if you guys could have made, then maybe you would have been on the winning end. Can you just talk about how do you guys eliminate some of those big plays that ended up killing you in this game?
I believe it's communication, and then I think our penalties. I believe we got caught on a 3rd and like 5 or 6 where we were off the field, but we turned around and saw a flag, and I think they went on to the very next play and they scored a touchdown. So I mean, that's something that could definitely help. I think in the penalties, we definitely had more penalties than them tonight. And I think that's something that we could get better at. Over the season, we've had times where we're really getting off the field on 3rd down, but we're having penalties, and those end up being points in the long end.
Barnes, go ahead.
Hey, Jeremiah, what are some of the conversations and then some of the adjustments that are taking place throughout the course of the game to try to get more pressure on their quarterbacks?
I think it's just rotation with the defensive line, and then in our other packages, whether we're bringing Chris Collins in, Conley, or if we're moving Trey out there to have more coverage and bring in more pressure from the boundary side. I think it's just personnel and then communication. I think Notre Dame is a really, really good O-line. I think they've always had really good O-linemen. I think they were doing a good job of picking up blitzes and calling out checks. I think what we can do better is maybe bluffing a little bit on some blitzes where, say we're coming at maybe the will line, Mike linebackers blitzing, and maybe the will needs to sniffle up in the B gap, or the boundary safety come down a little bit, act like he's coming, and then backpedal and get back into his coverage. I think that's something that that we can start talking about, that we can start getting better at, that we can take to the next level, is switching up our blitz looks, like making it look like we're coming from one side, but we're really coming from another.
Great. Thank you.
Andrew Jones.
Hey, Jeremiah, you've mentioned communication a couple of times tonight, and previously this year when you guys had some of those stretches defensively, you said communication was an issue. Was communication the main issue tonight? And if not, what do you think, what else played into them being able to move the ball like they did?
I don't think communication was a huge factor. I mean, the drive after we scored on our first touchdown after half, that was definitely a communication drive. I mean, they scored in, like, I think 2 to 3 plays. That's uncalled for. That was definitely coming back to silent. That was definitely a communication problem on the back end. And then for definitely in the second half is just staying in our gaps. I think we did a great job of stopping the run in the first half, and then in the second half, I think guys were getting nosy, jumping out of their gaps, not staying disciplined, just staying in their gaps, because he's shown on film that if one gap is taken, he's going to cut back and try to find an open gap, and he did that to us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, last one, Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Jeremiah, what do you think are the main, you mentioned a bunch of things already, so I hate to beat a dead horse, but what do you think the issues are with this defense that kind of keep happening every game that you're seeing, maybe outside of the communication stuff?
Outside of the communication stuff, for me, I feel like all the guys are out there playing hard. I feel like Bateman's calling the right calls in the right situations. I feel like it's just today wasn't communication. I feel like it was just people really like taking control of their 111th and their 111th responsibility. Yeah, I mean, we jumped out of gaps a lot in the second half. I mean, I think he had like 150 yards, maybe 130, 40 yards in the second half running on us. And I think that was the difference maker in the game, because the run game wasn't really there in the first half. In the second half, he started bursting runs. And I haven't watched film or anything, but for me, with all the cutting and cutbacks he was doing in the backfield, I think it was some guys just getting nosy and hopping out of gaps. And that's where he was being able to find space and get extra yards and pick it up.
Were there any adjustments you can point to that Bateman did throughout the game that you think either helped or weren't effective that you can remember?
There weren't really too many adjustments to have, because the calls that we were calling that we've talked about all week, they did a lot of stuff that we thought they would do. And I think the adjustments we made were the right ones, and the unbalanced checks. We made some adjustments in the unbalanced checks, and further in the game, they started to go away from it because Bateman made that adjustment at halftime. So I think Bateman was spot on. I think he was calling the right calls. I mean, even on the ninth run, we had him twice dead in the water in the backfield. He's calling the right plays. I think guys just need to play their 111 and stay sound in what they're doing and not get nosy and try to help other people out. Because I think when things start to fall apart and things start to go the wrong way, I think that's when guys start to think like, maybe I should play my job, but also try to help another guy out, just because things are starting to go downhill. And when things start to go downhill like that, I think everybody needs to zone in and still stay strong on just doing their 111.
Great. Thanks, man.
All right, Jeremiah, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. We got Sam Howell here. CL Brown, go ahead.
Sam, Mack Brown came on and said that he felt like offensively you guys look like you did at times last year. I know you scored more points this year in some games, but how do you feel in terms of that statement? Did this feel like you're clicking on a level like the offense ran last year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really compare teams to other teams like this year to last year, but I thought we played a pretty good game on offense. I think we still had a lot of mistakes. Had the pick late that really hurt us, and we had a drop on a screen pass on a play that Josh usually makes, and some penalties that cost us as well. So we had opportunities. I think the big thing for us and why we were able to play a decent game on offense is just we got everybody involved. We had all the wideouts involved. We had the tight ends involved. Running backs were running the ball very well. I was running the ball a little bit, and I think we have all of our weapons kind of involved in the game plan. And I'm spreading the ball around. I think we're really hard to stop.
Okay, let's go to Greg Barnes.
Sam, Josh Downs has caught at least 8 passes in every game this year. That's kind of rarefied air, if you will. You speak to your chemistry with him and what he does so well to get open.
Yeah, Josh is unbelievable. He's probably the best receiver in the country right now. And what's so good about Josh is how well he prepares for games. He's in the film room with the quarterbacks. We'll be there late at night, and Josh will be right in there with us. He wants to dive into the game plan, and most guys, they just want to know what's in the game plan, and then they go out and execute it. But Josh truly wants to know why we're running what we're running, just so he has a better understanding of what we're kind of looking for. And I think, that really helps him on the field, and he just works so hard. He's the hardest working guy on our team. He's standing up to practice probably an hour every single day. He lives in the indoor facility working on his footwork, all this stuff. We have to try to tell him to calm down all the time just because he works so hard. But Josh is only going to continue to get better. And he made a lot of plays for us tonight.
Thanks.
Adam Smith.
Sam, just wondering, the polls say Notre Dame is ranked 11th nationally. If they're a top 15, top 10 type team, where do you think you guys might be? I feel like you guys were trading punches with them for most of the night tonight.
I think we're certainly capable of being one of the top teams in the country. I just think we just lack consistency. I think we're playing at our best. We're a really good football team, but I think we struggled to kind of put it all together. A lot of times this year, and it led to a 4-4 record. And I think when we play at our best, we can compete with anybody in the country, and we truly know that. It's just a matter of us being more consistent and playing complete games and in all 3 phases of the game. But when we're at our best, we like our chance against anybody, but we just got to work on, just being more consistent. We make way too many mistakes to be considered as one of those teams, and we got to clean that up.
Thanks, man.
Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Sam, I know you don't like to talk about personal accomplishments and things like that, but you passed TJ Yates for the all-time passing record tonight. What does that mean to you in the realm of your career at UNC, doing it in 3 seasons and way less games? Yeah, it's definitely not why I play the game, but it's definitely something that, I don't take for granted. It's an awesome deal. I've had a lot of help to get where I am, and I'm just super blessed by God to be in the position I'm in and have all these people around me that, allow me to go out there and have success. I could be anywhere in the world, and I'm here playing football with people that I love in that locker room, and I truly enjoy being with those guys, and it's just super fun to go out there and fight with my brothers. I think what I take away most from the records and stuff like that is just the memories and the relationships I built along the way. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to finish this thing out.
Yeah, and to follow up here, you've really added a running game to your game, or a running attack to your game. What's that kind of like this season, adding that to your offensive attack?
Honestly, it really just feels like back to high school. I used to run the ball in high school probably 20, 25 times a game, and that's truly what it feels like for me this year. When we need a first down, I'm in high school, I was the guy who's going to run it. And, here we kind of go the quarterback draw, play a lot. It's working for us. And I think our O-line is doing a really good job. We kind of invested a lot of time in blocking the quarterback draw in the offseason, working on blocking against blitzes, blocking against twists, because running quarterback draws
when the defense twists is really hard to do, and our O-line's done a really good job of kind of picking that stuff up. And yeah, I mean, y'all see it when we run like the quarterback draws, it's wide open. So really, it's just credit to the guys around me. It's easy to get numbers when the quarterback runs the ball, and you can have the running back block for you. It's hard. It's easy to outnumber the defense and stuff like that. So it's just a credit to Coach Longo's game plan and the guys blocking in front of me.
Great. Thanks, man.
All right, Sam, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Safe travels back from South Bend, and we will